Hey everybody, it's Alex at Motoroso.com, and in this video we're going to take a close-up look at all the Baja Designs fog pocket kits for the Jeep Wrangler JL and Gladiator JT. Now there are 12 different versions of this kit, and it can get a little complicated based on which you're going to need, and so we really hope that this video is going to help simplify it and help you make your decision. Now this fits with the OEM bumpers, okay? So if you're planning on getting an aftermarket bumper for your Wrangler, don't bother looking at these. They're not going to transfer over. You don't need this unless you just want something in the meantime. Skip this video and move on to some other aftermarket lighting. But if you're going to keep your OEM bumper, no matter which style of bumper you have, there's a kit that's going to work for you. Now, as I mentioned, 12 different kits, so it's get a little bit overwhelming, but we're going to simplify that down and help you make your decision. Now, the kits are very straightforward. They come with, obviously, the lights, and based on what you're going to choose, they're going to come with the brackets and hardware necessary to quickly and easily mount up in a secure location right there in that fog pocket location in your Wrangler. And they come with this really easy harness that plugs into the back of the light and then right into the wiring harness for the Jeep so that you can use your OEM auxiliary switch for fog lights. Now, alternatively, if you want to use your other auxiliary switches, your 1 through 6, you can get separate wiring to wire that all up, or you can wire it into something like the S-Pod switch controller, which we're going to be making a separate video about. Now, regardless, as usual, with everything we talk about in this video, we're going to put links to everything in the description of the video, and those links will take you over to Motoroso.com where you can shop with us. And you can also reach us there on live chat or call us toll free at 833-MOTOROSO. If you find this video helpful, please consider shopping with us. That's what supports what we do here. That's our business model, and we love helping people with their build projects. So as I mentioned, there are 12 different versions of this kit, which sounds complicated, but in reality, there's only 2 decisions that you actually need to make. First, how much light output do you want? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the different lights. How much power do you need? Second, what color light output do you want? And I'll also cover that in a moment. Now, the reason that it gets so complicated is because there are 3 separate kits for each of the 3 different bumper types that you can get on a Wrangler JL or a Gladiator JT. The 3 different bumper types, let's start there. You need to figure out which one you've got. So if you either are going to have the steel premium bumper that you would find on the Rubicon, sometimes that's going to have a winch or not. That does not affect the fog pocket mounting kit. You may have the Sport or Sport S bumper, or you might have the plastic Sahara bumper. Now, the application-specific kits for the fog pocket location are dependent on which of those bumper types you have. So first things first, identify which bumper type you have, and then in the description of the video, we're going to put specific links to the kits organized by bumper type. First off, these are going to be the Squadron Rs. Now, like the Squadron 3x3 pods, which have a square bezel, these are the Squadron Rs, which means they have a rounded bezel. And what you get is this nice CNC machined, perfectly round bezel that's going to fill that space on the Wrangler and the JT just perfectly, giving you the cleanest OEM fit and finish. So these are definitely the right fit for this mounting location. Now, these come in 3 different power levels. The first 2 we're going to talk about are the Sport and the Pro. Now, the Sport's going to put out 3,150 lumens each for a total of 6,300 lumens from the pair, and the Pro is going to be the highest power option for this kit, putting out 4,600 lumens per pod for a total of 9,200 lumens off just those 2 light pods in that fog pocket location. Now, the lenses that are going to come in the kits for both the Sport and the Pro are going to be a clear, diffused lens. They call it a wide cornering lens. And what that means is that the light passing through it is going to get softly diffused all over the place and just light the whole scene up. Now, one of the coolest things about Baja Designs is that they sell lenses separately, and you can easily, with 4 screws, swap those into that light housing to change the light beam pattern or the color. So the beam options, you can switch over from diffused wide cornering lens. You could go all the way over into a fully spot lens, which means all of the light will be sent way up the trail in a focused beam. And then they also make a driving combo lens, which splits 50-50 spot and diffusion. That's one of the more popular options. They also make all 3 of those lens variations in amber. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're going to be driving in snow, rain, anything that can reflect light, the white light can definitely produce glare. So the amber light is a really good option if you're going to be in those kinds of conditions and you want to still be able to see and not have that glare coming back at you. So you can buy those lenses separately, and as usual, we'll put links to all of those lenses in the description of this video. Now, the last kit option is the kit that's sitting right in front of me, and that is the SAE version of the Squadron R. And what that means is Society of Automotive Engineers. And what that means is it's gone through the testing and certification process to be a street legal approved light. And yes, that means that the Squadron Sport and Pro that I talked about earlier, those are technically not a street legal light, and in theory, if you get caught using it on a public road, a cop might be able to give you a ticket. Now, not many people care about that. I haven't heard about people even getting tickets for this sort of a thing, but if you're worried about that, then this is definitely going to be the option for you. Now, it's definitely the option for Kevin on his Wrangler that we're installing it on, because he's also installing the top of the bumper lights and some A-pillar lights that are going to throw off more than enough off-road light for him. He's only going to use those off-road. He wants to be able to use these at all times on the road. And because this truck's going to spend some time in Michigan, he has opted for that amber lens, which again, in snowy and wet conditions at night, you can get that glare off the white light. The amber helps tremendously with that. So that was the right decision for Kevin. It might be the right decision for you as well. Now, the light output themselves, they are the lowest of all three. It's 2,420 lumens per pod for a total of 4,800 lumens, but that's still a ton of light helping to light up your path, and you can just switch them on, leave them on all the time, and don't have to worry about blinding oncoming drivers. Now, just a note, because these are SAE certified, the lenses are sealed and cannot be changed, unlike other Baja Designs lights, so you must choose whether or not you want clear or amber lenses at the time you make that purchase, and of course, as usual, like I said, all the links will be in the description of the video. So once you've decided which kit is right for you, the installation is extremely simple, and we're gonna show you exactly how to do that. Now, we don't have access to all three versions of the JLJT bumpers, but we do have Kevin's Wrangler 392 with that Rubicon steel bumper. We're gonna show you how to install this kit on that vehicle. It is very, very straightforward, and all three are very, very similar. And frankly, anybody who can turn a screwdriver should be able to do this install easily. Now, as usual, we're gonna put links to everything we've talked about in the description of this video. Those links will take you over to Motoroso.com, where you can shop with us. And again, if you found any of this helpful, please consider shopping with us. It supports everything that we do over here, and we do love doing it for you, and we want to keep going. So let's show you that install now. Start by removing the T40 Torx bolts holding the backing plate on the bumper. There's 3 across the top, 1 on the side, 2 on the bottom, and 2 on the back. Once removed, this cover will slide out of the way. Remove the 2 10mm bolts holding the stock fog light in place, then drop the light down and press in on the retaining clip on the harness to disconnect the connector. Then simply grab your new bracket with the L-shaped mounting point on the bottom side, use the included bolt and washer, and mount it right where your stock fog light bracket was. Next, assemble your new Squadrons. Start by placing the large bolt and washer through the mounting hole on the bracket. Then mount the bracket to the light housing with the spring washer between the bracket and the light housing, and snug with the included 4mm socket cap bolts on each side. Make sure not to over tighten these. You need to be able to move the light on the bracket. Next, simply place the Squadron on the bracket in the bumper and use the included washer and nylock nut to snug the Squadron in place using 2 15mm box wrenches. Again, these should be snug, but not so tight that it cannot be moved. Lastly, grab the adapter cable provided with the kit and plug it in between the OEM wiring harness and the Squadron. Coil up any extra wiring and zip tie it out of the way. Now just replace that bumper back cover with the OEM bolts. Simply repeat this whole process on the other side, and that's really all there is to it. Test the lights by pressing the fog light button in the middle of the headlight switch on the dash, and enjoy your new fog lights. All right, links to everything we've just talked about are going to be in the description of the video. Those links will take you to Motoroso.com, where you can shop with us. And please do, if you found any of this helpful, you can also reach us there on live chat or call us toll free at 833-MOTOROSO. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the top of the bumper LP series lights that we're putting on this Wrangler, check this video out right here. That's the next video in this series. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for our upcoming videos, and thanks for watching.